Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be taking a look at some screenshots and information that was released about the new spinach crop that's come into Farming Simulator 25. Starting out, we have this screenshot that shows the growth stages of spinach and even tells us the average yield and price of it. So you'll see we can expect a yield of 23,100 litres per hectare of spinach, and it has an average sale price of £660. And using just 10 litres of seed per hectare, it's going to be a very profitable crop. It only has a short growth duration of 3 months as well, and it can be planted in March or April. Then it can be harvested in June, July, September and October. And if we look at the pictures of the growth stages, it's showing us what we can expect if we was to plant the spinach in March. So by June the spinach will be ready to harvest. Then once it's been harvested, you'll see it starts growing back in July and will be ready to harvest again in September. And of course, if we was to plant in April, then the harvest times would be a month later. But whenever we plant it, as long as we harvest it straight away in the first month we can, the spinach will then grow back and we'll be able to get 2 harvests a year by only planting it once, which is why I said it will be a very profitable crop. It does say in the blog post that we'll need to apply the usual yield improvements like we do with other crops though. So obviously we'll have to do everything we would normally do to maximise the yield when we plant the spinach. Then after the first harvest, we'll need to fertilise it again if we want to maximise the yield for the second harvest. Moving on to the second screenshot, we get to see this field being planted with spinach by one of the new direct drills that is coming to FS25, which is the Agromaz Aquila Drive 400 seeder. And the fact this is being used shows that spinach uses the standard seeds in game. So considering it only takes 10 litres of seeds per hectare, it really won't cost much at all to sow a field. Plus, even some of the smaller seeders with a low capacity could plant large fields without needing to be refilled, which makes it a very easy crop to plant. Okay, next up we have a few shots of spinach being harvested by the Oxbow MKB 4TR, which is the new spinach harvester that's come into the game. And this is a self-propelled centre articulating tracked harvester that is on the Oxbow website as a leafy greens, parsley and spinach harvester. But the most interesting thing about this harvester coming to Farming Simulator 25 is that it introduces a whole new brand to the game. And if you look on the Oxbow website, they have a range of machines, especially harvesters. There's berry, coffee, pistachio, grape and olive harvesters. Then they have harvesters for things like potatoes, green beans, peas and tomatoes. And that's just to name a few of them. They also have sprayers, manure and slurry spreaders, trailers and more. So I think we might be seeing a few Oxbow machines in FS25, because I don't think Giants would bring the brand into the game just for this spinach harvester. And my guess is that we could be getting a grape and olive harvester from them, as well as a potato harvester, because those crops are already in the game. Plus there is still some unconfirmed crops for FS25, so maybe the Oxbow machines will have something to do with them, just like they do with the spinach. But that is just my theory, so I could be wrong. Right, now we have some screenshots of the harvester unloading the spinach into the Crampy SKS30 trailer, which we have in FS22. And we can see how it unloads by the hopper raising up and tipping to the side, just like how the sugarcane trailers do. Judging by the size of the hopper, it looks like it will have a pretty good capacity as well. Then here we have some different angles of it being unloaded, and we can see the trailer is connected to the Volvo MH16 lorry that come with the Platinum Expansion DLC for FS22. So obviously the Volvo lorry will be in the base game of FS25 now, which I'm sure many of you will be happy to see it return, as it's a really nice vehicle, and it will fit the European map perfectly. Then for the last few screenshots, we have a closer look at all of the growth stages spinach goes through. So this is the first growth stage after planting, where the spinach has come out of the ground and doesn't have many leaves on. Then in the second stage, it becomes more bushy and taller. And here is ready to harvest and is even more bushy and slightly taller. Then this is once it's been harvested, and you'll see there's still some spinach in the ground. So that was the first growth cycle of the year, and it does say that in the second cycle after harvesting for the first time, it's common among crops like spinach for the first growth stage to appear slightly more bushy, making it easier to visually keep track of our spinach fields. And that's what we're seeing here, where the first growth stage after harvesting is more dense and bushy than it was first time around. Then this is the second stage, which again does look even more bushy than it did at the same growth stage in the first cycle. And then here is when it's ready to harvest, and again it's very dense and bushy. Then lastly, this is what it looks like when it's withered, so we'll have to make sure to harvest the second time before it gets to this stage, or we'll lose out on the second harvest. Anyway, we've seen all of the screenshots for the spinach now, which is a really nice crop to have in the game, and as I said earlier, one that's going to be very profitable. Especially if we can get it harvested at the right time and we're able to get 2 harvests a year out of it. We also got to see the new Agromass Direct Drill, the Volvo truck returning to the base game, and of course the new Oxbow harvester and the addition of the Oxbow brand. Which, like I said, is something that I think is very interesting, and I'm pretty sure we could be seeing more machinery from them in FS25. But yeah, overall we got a good amount of screenshots and quite a lot of information about the new spinach crop. And the closer we get to the release of Farming Simulator 25, which is November 12th, we'll be finding out even more about the game, so we have a lot to look forward to. But that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by leaving a like and feel free to subscribe so you never miss another video.